Audio Reading presents Inside Out and Back Again by Thanhha Lai. Part 1, Saigon. 1975, Year of the Cat. Today is Tet, the first day of the lunar calendar. Every Tet we eat sugary lotus seeds and glutinous rice cakes. We wear all new clothes even underneath. Mother warns how we act today foretells the whole year. Everyone must smile no matter how we feel. No one can sweep, for why sweep away hope? No one can splash water, for why splash away joy? Today we all gain 1 year in age, no matter the date we were born. Tet, our New Year's, doubles as everyone's birthday. Now I am 10, learning to embroider circular stitches, to calculate fractions into percentages, to nurse my papaya tree to bear many fruits. But last night I pouted when mother insisted one of my brothers must rise first this morning to bless our house because only male feet can bring luck. An old angry knot expanded in my throat. I decided to wake before dawn and tap my big toe to the tile floor first. Not even mother, sleeping beside me, knew. February 11th Tet, Inside Out. Every New Year mother visits the I Ching teller of fate. This year he predicts our lives will twist inside out. Maybe soldiers will no longer patrol our neighborhood. Maybe I can jump rope after dark. Maybe the whistles that tell mother to push us under the bed will stop screeching. But I heard on the playground this year's ban chung, eaten only during Tet, will be smeared in blood. The war is coming closer to home, February 12. Kim Ha. My name is Ha. Brother Kwang remembers I was as red and fat as a baby hippopotamus when he first saw me, inspiring the name Ha-em, river horse. Brother Vu screams, Ha-ya, and makes me jump every time he breaks wood or bricks in imitation of Bruce Lee. Brother Koi calls me mother's tail because I'm always 3 steps from her. I can't make my brothers go live elsewhere, but I can hide their sandals. We each have but 1 pair, much needed during this dry season when the earth stings. Mother tells me to ignore my brothers. We named you Kim H after the Golden Kim River Ha, where father and I once strolled in the evenings. My parents had no idea what 3 older brothers can do to the simple name Ha. Mother tells me they tease you because they adore you. She's wrong, but I still love being near her, even more than I love my papaya tree. I will offer her its first fruit. Every day, papaya tree. It grew from a seed I flicked into the back garden. A seed like a fish eye, slippery shiny black. The tree has grown twice as tall as I stand on tippy toes. Brother Koi spotted the first white blossom. 4 years older, he can see higher. Brother Vu later found a baby papaya the size of a fist clinging to the trunk. At 18, he can see that much higher. Brother Kwang is oldest, 21 and studying engineering. Who knows what he will notice before me? I vow to rise first every morning to stare at the dew on the green fruit shaped like a light bulb. I will be the first to witness its ripening. Mid-February, Tai Tai waves goodbye. My best friend Tai Tai is crying hard, snotting the hem of her pink fluffy blouse. Her 2 brothers also are sniffling inside their car packed to the roof with suitcases. Tai Tai shoves into my hand a tin of flower seeds we gathered last fall. We hope to plant them together. She waves from the back window of their rabbit-shaped car. Her tears mix with long strands of hair, long hair I wish I had. I would still be standing there crying and waving to nothing if Brother Koi hadn't come to take my hand. They're heading to Vung Tau, he says, where the rich go to flee Vietnam on cruise ships. I'm glad we've become poor so we can stay. Early March, missing in action. Father left home on a Navy mission on this day 9 years ago when I was almost 1. He was captured on Route 1 an hour south of the city by Mopt. That's all we know. This day mother prepares an altar to chant for his return, offering fruit, incense, tuberoses, and glutinous rice. She displays his portrait taken during Tet the year he disappeared. How peaceful he looks, smiling, peacock tails at the corners of his eyes. Each of us bows and wishes and hopes and prays. Everything on the altar remains for the day except the portrait. Mother locks it away as soon as her chant ends. She cannot bear to look into father's forever young eyes. March 10, Mother's Days. On weekdays, mother's a secretary in a Navy office, trusted to count out salaries in cash at the end of each month. At night, she stays up late designing and cutting baby clothes to give to seamstresses. A few years ago, she made enough money to consider buying a car. On weekends, she takes me to market stalls, dropping off the clothes and trying to collect on last week's goods. Hardly anyone buys anymore, she says. People can barely afford food. Still, she continues to try. March 15, eggs. Brother Koi is mad at mother for taking his hen's eggs. The hen gives 1 egg every day and a half. We take turns eating them. Brother Koi refuses to eat his, putting each under a lamp in hopes of a chick. I should side with my most tolerable brother, but I love a soft yolk to dip bread. Mother says if the price of eggs were not the price of rice, and the price of rice were not the price of gasoline, and the price of gasoline were not the price of gold, then of course Brother Koi could continue hatching eggs. She's sorry. March 17, Current News. Every Friday in Miss Shin's class we talk about current news. But when we keep talking about how close the communists have gotten to Saigon, how much prices have gone up since American soldiers left, how many distant bombs were heard the previous night, Miss Shin finally says no more. From now on, Fridays will be for happy news. No one has anything to say. March 21, Feel smart. This year I have afternoon classes plus Saturdays. We attend in shifts so everyone can fit into school. Mornings free. Mother trusts me to shop at the open market. Last September, she would give me 50 dong to buy 100 grams of pork, a bushel of water spinach, 5 cubes of tofu. But I told no one I was buying 99 grams of pork, 7/8 of a bushel of spinach, 4 3/4 cubes of tofu. Merchants frowned at Mother's strange instructions. The money saved bought a pouch of toasted coconut, 1 sugary fried dough, 2 crunchy mung bean cookies. Now it takes 200 ang to buy the same things. I still buy less pork, allowing myself just the fried dough. No one knows and I feel smart. Late March. 2 more papayas. I see them first, 2 green thumbs that will grow into orange-yellow delights smelling of summer. Middle sweet between a mango and a pear. Soft as a yam gliding down after 3 easy, thrilling chews. April 5, Unknown Father. I don't know any more about father than the small things mother let slip. He loved stewed eels, chawed pastries, and of course his children, so much that he grew teary watching us sleep. He hated the afternoon sun, the color brown, and cold rice. Brother Quang remembers father often said "Tuiet sut," the Vietnamese way to pronounce the French phrase tout de sweet meaning right away. Mother would laugh when father followed her around the kitchen repeating, "I'm starved for stewed eel, Tuiet sut, Tuiet sut." Sometimes I whisper Tuiet sut to myself to pretend I know him. I would never say Tuiet sut in front of mother. None of us would want to make her sadder than she already is. Everyday. TV news. Brother Quang races home from class, throws down his bicycle, exhausted, no longer able to afford gasoline for his mopped. Unbelievable, he screams and turns on the TV. A pilot for South Vietnam bombed the presidential palace downtown that afternoon. Afterward, the pilot flew north and received a medal. The news says the pilot has been a spy for the communists for years. The communists captured father, so why would any pilot choose their side? Brother Quang says, one cannot justify war unless each side flaunts its own blind conviction. Since starting college, He shows off even more with tangled words. I start to say so, but mother pats my hand, her signal for me to calm down. April 8th. Birthday. I, the youngest, get to celebrate my actual birthday even though I turned a year older like everyone else at Tet. I, the only daughter, usually get roasted chicken, dried bamboo soup, and all-I-can-eat pudding. This year, mother manages only banana tapioca and my favorite black sesame candy. She makes up for it by allowing one wish. I dye my mouth sugary black and insist on stories. It's not easy to persuade mother to tell of her girlhood in the north, where her grandmother's land stretched farther than doves could fly, where looking pretty and writing poetry were her only duties. She was promised to father at 5. They married at 16, earlier than expected. Everyone's future changed upon learning the name Ho Chi Minh. Change meant land was taken away, houses now belonged to the state, servants gained power as fighters. The country divided in half. Mother and father came south, convinced it would be easier to breathe away from communism. Her father was to follow, but he was waiting for his son, who was waiting for his wife, who was waiting to deliver a child in its last week in her belly. The same week, North and South closed their doors. No more migration, no more letters, no more family. At this point, mother closes her eyes that resemble no one else's. Sunken and deep like Westerners, yet almond-shaped like ours. I always wish for her eyes, but mother says no, eyes like hers can't help but carry sadness. Even as a child, her parents were alarmed by the weight in her eyes. I want to hear more, but nothing, not even my pouts, can make mother open her eyes and tell more. April 10, birthday wishes. Wishes I keep to myself. Wish I could do what boys do and let the sun darken my skin and scars grid my knees. Wish I could let my hair grow, but mother says the shorter the better to beat Saigon's heat and lice. Wish I could lose my chubby cheeks. Wish I could stay calm no matter what my brothers say. Wish mother would stop chiding me to stay calm, which makes it worse. Wish I had a sister to jump rope with and sew doll clothes and hug for warmth in the middle of the night. Wish father would come home so I can stop daydreaming that he will appear in my classroom in a white navy uniform and extend his hand toward me for all my classmates to see. Mostly, I wish father would appear in our doorway and make mother's lips curl upward, lifting them from a permanent frown of worries. April 10th night, a day downtown. Every spring President Thieu holds a long ceremony to comfort war wives. Mother and I go because after President Thieu's talk of winning the war, of democracy, of our father's bravery, each family gets 5 kilos of sugar, 10 kilos of rice, and a small jug of vegetable oil. Inside the cyclo, mother crosses her legs so I can fit beside her. The breeze still cool, we bounce across the bridge shaped like a crescent moon where I'm not to go by myself. Mother smells of lavender and warmth. She's so beautiful even if her cheeks are too hollow, her mouth too dark with worries. Despite warnings, I still want her sunken eyes. Before I see it, I hear downtown, thick with beeps, shouts, police whistles. Everywhere, mopes and bicycles race down the wide road, moving out of the way only. When a truck honks and mows straight down the middle of the lane, we get out in front of an open market. We push our way to a bangkuan stand. I love watching the spread of rice flour on cloth, stretched over a steaming pot. Like magic, a crepe forms to be filled with shrimp and eaten with cucumber and bean sprouts. It tastes even better than it looks. While my mouth is full, the noises of the market silence themselves, letting me and my bangkuan float. We squeeze ourselves out of the market toward the presidential palace. We stand in line. For even longer, we sit on hot metal benches facing the podium. My white cotton hat and mother's flowery umbrella are nothing against the afternoon sun, shooting rays into my short hair. I'm dizzy and thirsty. The fish sauce in the bangkuan was very salty. Mother gives me a tamarind candy. I have never been so thrilled to drink my saliva. Finally, President Thieu appears, tan and sweaty. We know you have suffered. I thank you, your country thanks you. Then he cries actual tears unwiped, facing the cameras. Mother clicks her tongue, tears of an ugly fish. I know that to mean fake tears of a crocodile. April 12, twisting. Mother measures rice grains left in the bin. Not enough to last till payday at the end of the month. Her brows twist like laundry being wrung dry. Yam and manioc taste lovely blended with rice, she says, and smiles, as if I don't know how the poor fill their children's bellies. April 13, close to soon. A siren screams over Miss Shin's voice in the middle of a lesson on smiley and bald President Ford. We all know it's bad news. School's now closed. Everyone must go home a month too soon. I'm mad and pinch the girl who shares my desk. Tram is half my size, so skinny and nervous. Our mothers are friends. She will tell on me. She always tells on me. Mother will again scold me to be gentle. I need time to finish this riddle. A man usually rides his bike 9 kilometers per hour. Yet the wind slows him to 6.76 kilometers for 26 minutes and 5.55 kilometers for 10. How long until he gets home 11.54 kilometers away? The first to solve it gets the sweet potato plant sprouting at the window. I want to plant it beside my papaya tree where vines can climb and shade ripening fruit. Again, I pinch Tram, knowing the plant will be awarded today to the teacher's pet, who is always skinny and nervous and never me. April 14, promises. 5 papayas the sizes of my head, a knee to elbows, and a thumb cling to the trunk. Still green but promising, April 15. Bridge to the sea. Uncle's son, father's best friend, visits us. He's short, dark, and smiley, not tall, thin, and serious like father in photographs. Still, when classmates ask about my father, sometimes short and smiley come to mind before I can stop it. Uncle's son goes straight to the kitchen, where the back door opens into an alley. Unbelievable luck. This door bypasses the Navy checkpoint and leads straight to the port. I will not risk fleeing with my children on a rickety boat. Would a Navy ship meet your approval? As if the Navy would abandon its country? There won't be a South Vietnam left to abandon. You really believe we can leave? When the time comes, this house is our bridge to the sea. April 16th. Should we? Mother calls a family meeting. Ong Zuan has sold leaves of gold to buy 12 airplane tickets. B Nam has a van ready to load 25 relatives toward the coast. Mother asks us, should we leave our home? Brother Kwang says, how can we scramble away like rats, without honor, without dignity, when everyone must help rebuild the country? Brother Koi says, what if father comes home and finds his family gone? Brother Vu says, yes, we must go. Everyone knows he dreams of touching the same ground where Bruce Lee walked. Mother twists her brows. I've lived in the north. At first, not much will happen, then suddenly Kwang will be asked to leave college. Ha will come home chanting the slogans of Ho Chi Minh, and Koi will be rewarded for reporting to his teacher everything we say in the house. Her brows twist so much we hush, April 17. Shh. Brother Koi shakes me before dawn. I follow him to the back garden. In his palm chirps a downy yellow fuzz, just hatched. He presses his palm against my squeal. No matter what mother decides, we are not to leave. I must protect my chick and you your papayas. He holds out his pinky and stares until I extend mine and we hook. April 18, quiet decision. Dinner time I help mother peel sweet potatoes to stretch the rice. I start to chop off a potato's end as wide as a thumbnail, then decide to slice off only a sliver. I am proud of my ability to save until I see tears in mother's deep eyes. You deserve to grow up where you don't worry about saving half a bite of sweet potato. April 19th, early monsoon. We pretend the monsoon has come early. In the distance, bombs explode like thunder, slashes lighten the sky, gunfire falls like rain. Distant yet within ears, within eyes. Not that far away after all. April 20. The president resigns. On TV, President Thieu looks sad and yellow. What has happened to his tan? His eyes brim with tears. This time they look real. I can no longer be your president, but I will never leave my people or our country. Mother lifts one brow, what she does when she thinks I'm lying. April 21st. Watch over us. Uncle Son returns and tells us to be ready to leave any day. Don't tell anyone, or all of Saigon will storm the port. Only Navy families can board the ships. Uncle Son and father graduated in the same Navy class. It was mere luck that Uncle Son didn't go on the mission where father was captured. Mother pulls me close and pats my head. Father watches over us even if he's not here. Mother tells me she and father have a pact. If war should separate them, they know to find each other through father's ancestral home in the north. April 24, crisscross packs. Pedal, pedal. Mother's feet push the sewing machine. The faster she pedals, the faster stitches appear on heavy brown cloth. 2 rectangles make a pack. A long strip makes a handle to be strapped across the wearer's chest. Hours later, the stitches appear in slow motion, the needle a worm laying tiny eggs that sink into brown cloth. The tired worm reproduces much more slowly at the end of the day than at the beginning when mother started the first of 5 bags. Brother Koi says too loudly, make only 3. Mother goes to a high shelf, bringing back father's portrait. Come with us or we'll all stay. Think, my son, your action will determine our future. Mother knows this son cannot stand to hurt anyone anything. Look at father, come with us so father will be proud you obeyed your mother while he's not here. I look at my toes, feeling Brother Koi's eyes burn into my scalp. I also feel him slowly nodding. Who can go against a mother who has become gaunt like bark from raising 4 children alone? April 26, choice. Into each pack, 1 pair of pants, 1 pair of shorts, 3 pairs of underwear, 2 shirts, sandals, toothbrush and paste. Soap, 10 palms of rice grains, 3 clumps of cooked rice, 1 choice. I choose my doll, once lent to a neighbor who left it outside, where mice bit her left cheek and right thumb. I love her more for her scars. I dress her in a red and white dress with matching hat and booties that mother knitted. April 27, left behind. 10 gold-rimmed glasses father brought back from America where he trained before I was born. Brother Kwang's report cards, each ranking him first in class, beginning in kindergarten. Vines of bougainvillea fully in bloom, burgundy and white like the colors of our house. Vines of jasmine in front of every window that remind mother of the north. A cowboy leather belt Brother Vu sewed on mother's machine and broke her needle. That was when he adored Johnny Cash more than Bruce Lee. A row of glass jars Brother Koi used to raise fighting fish. 2 hooks and the hammock where I nap. Photographs. Every Tet at the zoo, father in his youth, mother in her youth, baby pictures. Where you can't tell whose bottom is exposed for all the world to see. Mother chooses 10 and burns the rest. We cannot leave evidence of father's life that might hurt him. April 27th evening. Wet and crying. My biggest papaya is light yellow, still flecked with green. Brother Vu wants to cut it down, saying it's better than letting the communists have it. Mother says yellow papaya tastes lovely dipped in chili salt. You children should eat fresh fruit while you can. Brother Vu chops, the head falls, a silver blade slices, black seeds spill like clusters of eyes, wet and crying. April 28, sour backs. At the port, we find out there's no such thing as a secret among the Vietnamese. Thousands found out about the Navy ships ready to abandon the Navy. Uncle Sun flares elbows into wings, lunges forward protecting his children. But our family sticks together like wet pages. I see nothing but backs sour and sweaty. Brother Vu steps up, placing mother in front of him and lifting me onto his shoulders. His palms press brothers Kwang and Koi forward. I promise myself to never again make fun of Bruce Lee. April 29th afternoon, 1 mat each. We climb on and claim a space of 2 straw mats under the deck, enough for us 5 to lie side by side. By sunset, our space is 1 straw mat, enough for us 5 to huddle together. Bodies cram every centimeter below deck, then every centimeter on deck. Everyone knows the ship could sink, unable to hold the piles of bodies that keep crawling on like raging ants from a disrupted nest. But no one is heartless enough to say stop, because what if they had been stopped before their turn? April 29th sunset. In the dark. Uncle Sun visits and whispers to mother. We follow mother, who follows Uncle Sun, who leads his family up to the deck and off the ship. It has been said the ship next door has a better engine, more water, endless fuel, countless salty eggs. Uncle Sun lingers without getting on the new ship. So do we. Hordes pour by us, beyond us. Above us bombs pierce the sky. Red and green flares explode like fireworks. All lights are off so the port will not be a target. In the dark, a nudge here, a nudge there, and we end up back on the first ship in the same spot with tomats. Without lights, our ship glides out to sea, emptied of half its passengers. April 29th, near midnight. Saigon is gone. I listen to the swish, swish of mother's handheld fan, the whispers among adults, the bombs in the ever greater distance. The commander has ordered everyone below deck, even though he has chosen a safe river route to connect to the sea, avoiding the obvious escape path through Vung Tau, where the communists are dropping all the bombs they have left. I hope Tie-Dye got out. Mother is sick with waves in her stomach, even though the ship barely creeps along. We hear a helicopter circling near our ship. People run and scream, communists. Our ship dips low as the crowd runs to the left, and then to the right. This is not helping mother. I wish they would stand still and hush. The commander is talking. Do not be frightened. It's a pilot for our side who has jumped into the water, letting his helicopter plunge in behind him. The pilot appears below deck, wet and shaking. He salutes the commander and shouts, "At noon today, the communists crashed their tanks through the gates of the presidential palace and planted on the roof a flag with one huge star." Then he adds what no one wants to hear: "It's over. Saigon is gone." April 30, late afternoon. Part 2. At sea. Floating. Our ship creeps along the river route without lights, without cooking, without bathrooms. We are told to sip water only when we must so our bodies can stop needing. Mine won't listen. Mother sighs. I don't blame her, having a daughter who's either dying of thirst or demanding release. Other girls must be made of bamboo, bending whichever way they are told. Mother tells Uncle Sun I need a bathroom. We are allowed into the commander's cabin, where the bathroom is so white and clean, so worth the embarrassment. May 1 SLOWLY. I nibble on the last clump of cooked rice from my sack. Hard and moldy, yet chewy and sweet inside. I chew each grain SLOWLY. I hear others chew but have never seen anyone actually eating. No one has offered to share what I smell. Sardines, dried durian, salted eggs, toasted sesame. I lean toward the family on the next mat. Mother firmly shakes her head. She looks so sad as she pats my hand. May 2. Rations. On the third day, we join the sea toward Thailand. The commander says it's safe enough for his men to cook, for us to go above deck, for all to smile a little. He says there's enough rice and water for 3 weeks, but rescue should happen much earlier. Do not worry, ships from all countries are out looking for us. Morning, noon, and night we each get 1 clump of rice, small, medium, large, according to our height, plus 1 cup of water no matter our size. The first hot bite of freshly cooked rice, plump and nutty, makes me imagine the taste of ripe papaya, although one has nothing to do with the other. May 3, routine. Mother cannot allow idle children, hers or anyone else's. After 1 week on the ship, Brother Kwong begins English lessons. I wish he would keep it to, "How are you?" This is a pen, but when an adult is not there, he says, we must consider the shame of abandoning our own country and begging toward the unknown, where we will all begin again at the lowest level on the social scale. It's better in the afternoons with Brother Vu, who just wants us to do front kicks and back kicks, at times adding 1 to punches. Brother Koi gets to monitor lines for the bathrooms, where bottoms stick out to the sea behind blankets blowing in the wind. When not in class, I have to stay within sight of Mother, like a baby. Mother gives me her writing pad. Write tiny, there's but 1 pad. Writing becomes boring, so I draw over my words. Pouches of pan-fried shredded coconut tamarind paste on banana leaf, steamed corn on the cob, rounds of fried dough, wedges of pineapple on a stick, and of course cubes of papaya, tender and shiny. Mother smooths back my hair, knowing the pain of a girl who loves snacks but is stranded on a ship. May 7th. Once new. Water, water, water everywhere, making me think land is just something I once knew, like napping on a hammock, bathing without salt. Watching Mother write, laughing for no reason, kicking up powdery dirt and wearing clean nightclothes, smelling of the sun. May 12, Brother Koi's secret. Brother Koi stinks, we can't ignore it. He stews and sweats in a jacket he won't take off. Forced to sponge wipe twice a day, he wraps the jacket around his waist. He keeps clutching something in the left pocket, where the stench grows. Neighbors complain, even the ones 8 mats away, saying it's bad enough being trapped in putrid hot air made from fermented bodies and oily sweat. Must everybody also endure something rotten? Finally, Brother Vu holds Brother Koi down and forces him to open his hand. A flattened chick lies crooked, neck dangling off his palm. The chick had not a chance after we shoved for hours to board. Brother Koi screams, kicks everything off our mats. Brother Kwong carries him above deck, quiet. May 13, last respects. After 2 weeks at sea, the commander calls all of us above deck for a formal lowering of our yellow flag with 3 red stripes. South Vietnam no longer exists. One woman tries to throw herself overboard, screaming that without a country she cannot live. As they wrestle her down, a man stabs his heart with a toothbrush. I don't know them, so their pain seems unreal next to Brother Koi's, whose eyes are as wild as those of his broken chick. I hold his hand. Come with me. He doesn't resist. Alone at the back of the ship, I open Mother's white handkerchief. Inside lies my mouse-bitten doll, her arms wrapped around the limp, fuzzy body of his chick. I tie it all into a bundle. Brother Koi nods and I smile, but I regret not having my doll as soon as the white bundle sinks into the sea. May 14, 1 engine. In the middle of the night, our ship stops. Mother hugs me, hearts drumming as one. If the communists catch us fleeing, it's 1,000,000 times worse than staying at home. After many shouts and much time, the ship moves forward with just 1 engine. Mother would not release me. The commander says Thailand is much farther on 1 engine. It was risky to take the river route. We escaped bombs but missed the rescue ships. The commander decides the ration is now half a clump of rice only at morning and night, and 1 cup of water all day. Sip, he says, and don't waste strength moving around because it's impossible to predict how much longer we will be floating. May 16, the moon. During the day, the deck belongs to men and children. At nightfall, women make their way up. In single files, they sponge bathe and relieve themselves behind blanket curtains. I always stand in line with Mother. Every night she points upward. At least the moon remains unchanged. Your father could be looking at the same round moon. He may already understand we will wait for him across the world. I feel guilty, having not once thought of Father. I can't wish for him to appear until I know where we'll be. May 18, a kiss. The horn on our ship blows and blows, waking everyone from a week-long nap. A sure answer, honk honk, seems close enough and real enough to call everyone on deck. A gigantic ship with an American flag moves closer. Men in white uniform wave and smile. Our commander wears his navy jacket and hat, so white and so crisp. Now I realize why I like him so much. In uniform, he looks just like Father. He boards the other ship, salutes and shakes hands with a man whose hair grows on his face, not on his head, in the color of flames. I had not known such hair was possible. We clap and clap as the ships draw together and kiss. Boxes and boxes pass onto our deck. Oranges, apples, bananas, cold sweet bubbly drinks, chocolate drops, fruity gum. The American ship tows ours with a steel braid thick as my body. Our rescue now certain, the party blossoms as food suddenly comes up from below. Ramen noodles, beef jerky, dried shrimp, butter biscuits, tamarind pods, canned fish, and drums of real water. Mother says people share when they know they have escaped hunger. Shouldn't people share because there is hunger? That night I stand behind blowing blankets and pour fresh water all over my skin. How sweet water tastes even when mixed with soap. May 24, golden fuzz. Water still everywhere, but in the distance appears a black dot. We are told to pack our crisscross packs and line up in a single file. 20 at a time board a motorboat heading toward the dot. An arm extends to help us board, an arm hairy with fuzz. I touch it, so real and long, not knowing if I will have another chance to touch golden fuzz. I pluck one hair. Mother slaps my hand. Brother Kwong speaks quickly in the language I must learn. The fuzzy man laughs. I'm grateful the boat starts to rock, so Mother hasn't the composure to scold me, not just yet. I roll my fuzzy souvenir between my thumb and finger and can't help but smile. May 26, Tent City. We have landed on an island called Guam, which no one can pronounce except Brother Kwong, who becomes translator for all. Many others arrived before us and are living in green tents and sleeping on cots. We eat inside a huge tent where Brother Vu becomes head chef, heating up cans of beef and potatoes tasting like salty vomit. We eat only canned fruit in thick syrup, and everyone wants extras, but we get only a cup. Brother Vu somehow brings home a huge can, pumping it to work out his arm muscles. We eat straight from the can as I search for cherries and grapes. May 28, Life in Waiting. A routine starts as soon as we settle into our tent. Camp workers teach us English mornings and afternoons. Evenings we have to ourselves. We watch movies outdoors with images projected onto a white sheet. Brother Kwong translates into a microphone, his voice sad and slow. If it's a young cowboy like Clint Eastwood, everyone cheers. If it's an old cowboy, like John Wayne, most of us boo and go swimming. The Disney cartoons lure out the girls, who always surround Brother Vu, begging him to break yet another piece of wood. I can still hear them begging when I go sit with Brother Koi, who rarely speaks anymore, but I'm happy to be near him. June to early July, Nuke Mom. Someone should be kissed for having the heart to send cases of fish sauce to Guam. Everything is more edible with Nuke Mom. Brother Vu sautés the beef and potato goo with onions and sprinkles on the magic sauce before serving the mess with rice. Lines extend to the beach. Someone catches the sea creature puffy and watery like a cucumber. Brother Vu slices it into slippery strips and stews it with seaweed and the magic sauce. So many appetites wake up that Brother Vu just has time to cook rice and serve it with plain fish sauce. People begin to cook as long as they can get a cup of nuke mom. Brother Koi hands it out in the same white cups as tea. Both dark brown, so of course I drink a gulp of the most salty, most bitter, most fishy tea ever. My head whirls and my breath stinks for days. I do not mind. July 1, amethyst ring. Mother wants to sell the amethyst ring father brought back from America, where he trained in the Navy before I was born. She wants to buy needles and thread, fabric and sandals from the camp's black market. I have never seen her without this purple rock. I can't fall asleep unless I twist the ring and count circles. Brother Kwong says no. What's the point of new shirts and sandals if you lose the last tangible remnant of love? I don't understand what he said, but I agree. July 2, choose. Some choose to go to France because many Vietnamese moved there when North and South divided years ago. Uncle Sun says come with his family to Canada, where his sister lives and can help watch over us until father returns. Mother knows his wife would mind. She tells him Canada is too cold. We stand in line to fill out papers. Every family must decide by tonight when fireworks will explode in honor of America's birth. Mother starts to write Paris, home of a cousin she has never met. The man behind us whispers, choose America, more opportunities there, especially for a family with boys ready to work. Mother whispers back, my sons must first go to college. If they're smart, America will give them scholarships. Mother chooses July 4. Another tent city. We are flown to another tent city in humid, hot Florida, where alligators are shown as entertainment. The people in charge bring in Saigon famous singers to raise refugee spirits, but faces keep twisting with worries. For a family to leave, an American must come to camp and sponsor a family. We wait and wait, but mother says a possible widow, 3 boys, and a pouty girl make too huge a family by American standards. A family of 3 in the tent to our left gets sponsored to Georgia. The couple to our right goes to South Carolina. Newcomers leave before us. Mother can barely eat, while Brother Kwong picks the skin at his elbows. I don't mind being here. My hair is growing as I've become dark and strong from running and swimming. Then by chance mother learns sponsors prefer those whose applications say Christians. Just like that, mother amends our faith, saying all beliefs are pretty much the same. July to early August, Alabama. A man comes who owns a store that sells cars and wants to train one young man to be a mechanic. He keeps holding up one finger before picking Brother Kwong, whose studies in engineering impress him. Mother doesn't care what the man came looking for. By the time she is done staring, blinking, wiping away tears, all without speaking English, our entire family has a sponsor to Alabama. August 7, our cowboy. Our sponsor looks just like an American should. Tall and pig-bellied, black cowboy hat, tan cowboy boots, cigar smoking, teeth shining, red in face, golden in hair. I love him immediately and imagine him to be good-hearted and loud and the owner of a horse. August 8. Part 3, Alabama. Unpack and repack. We're giddy when we get off the airplane. Our cowboy, who never takes off his tall hat, delivers us to his huge house where grass spreads out so green it looks painted. Stay until you feel ready. We smile and unpack the 2 outfits we each own. One look at our cowboy's wife, arms, lips, eyes contorted into knots, and we repack. August 15, English above all. We sit and sleep in the lowest level of our cowboy's house, where we never see the wife. I must stand on a chair that stands on a tea table to see the sun and the moon out a too-high window. The wife insists we keep out of her neighbor's eyes. Mother shrugs. More room here than to mats on a ship. I wish she wouldn't try to make something bad better. She calls a family meeting. Until you children master English, you must think, do, wish for nothing else. Not your father, not our old home, not your old friends, not our future. She tries to mean it about father, but I know at times words are just words. August 16, first rule. Brother Kwong says add an s to nouns to mean more than one even if there's already an s sitting there. Glass yes, all day I practice squeezing hisses through my teeth. Whoever invented English must have loved snakes. August 17, American chicken. Most food our cowboy brings is wrapped in plastic or pushed into cans, while chicken and beef are chopped and frozen. We live on rice, soy sauce, canned corn. Today our cowboy brings a paper bucket of chicken, skin crispy and golden, smelling of perfection. Brother Coy recoils, vowing to never eat anything with wings. Our cowboy bites on a leg, grins to show teeth and gums. I wonder if he's so friendly because his wife is so mean. We bite. The skin tastes as promised, crunchy and salty, hot and spicy. But mother wipes the corners of her mouth before passing her piece into her napkin. Brother Vu gags. Our cowboy scrunches his brows, surely thinking, why are his refugees so picky? Brother Kwong forces a swallow before explaining we are used to fresh-killed chicken that roam the yard snacking on grains and worms. Such meat grows tight in texture, smelling of meadows and tasting sweet. I bite down on a thigh, might as well bite down on bread soaked in water. Still, I force yum sounds. I hope to ride the horse our cowboy surely has. August 20, out the too-high window. Green mats of grass in front of every house. Vast windows in front of sealed curtains. Cement lanes where no one walks. Big cars pass not often, not a noise, clean, quiet loneliness. August 21, second rule. Add an s to verbs acted by one person in the present tense, even if there's already an s sound nearby. She chooses, he refuses, I'm getting better at hissing, no longer spitting on my forearms. August 22nd. American address. Our cowboy in an even taller hat finds us a house on Princess Anne Road, pays rent ahead 3 months. Mother could not believe his generosity until Brother Kwong says the American government gives sponsors money. Mother is even more amazed by the generosity of the American government until Brother Kwong says it's to ease the guilt of losing the war. Mother's face crinkles like paper on fire. She tells Brother Kwong to clamp shut his mouth. People living on others' goodwill cannot afford political opinions. I inspect our house. 2 bedrooms, 1 for my brothers, 1 for mother and me. A washing machine because no one here will scrub laundry in exchange for a bowl of rice. The stove spews out clean blue flames, unlike the ashy coals back home. What I love best, the lotus pod shower, where heavy drops will massage my scalp as if I were standing in a monsoon. What I don't love, pink sofas, green chairs, plastic cover on a table, stained mattresses, old clothes, unmatched dishes. All from friends of our cowboy. Even at our poorest we always had beautiful furniture and matching dishes. Mother says be grateful. I'm trying. August 24. Letter home. As soon as we have an address, mother writes all the way to the north, where father's brother anchors down the family line in their ancestral home. It's the first time mother has been allowed to contact anyone in the north since the country divided. It'll be the first time father's brother learns of his disappearance. Unless father has sent word that he's safe after all. I shiver with hope. August 25, third rule. Always an exception. Do not add an s to certain nouns. 1 deer, to deer. Why no s for to deer, but an s for to monkeys? Brother Kwong says no one knows. So much for rules. Whoever invented English should be bitten by a snake. August 26, passing time. I study the dictionary because grass and trees do not grow faster just because I stare. I look up Jane, not listed C's, to eyeball something spot, a stain run, to move really fast meaning, eyeball stain move. I throw the dictionary down and ask Brother Kwong. Jane is a name, not in the dictionary. Spot is a common name for a dog. Girl named Jane sees dog named Spot run. I can't read a baby book. Who will believe I was reading NHT Lin? But then, who here knows who he is? August 27th. Nay, not he. Brother Kwong is tired of translating. Our sponsor takes me to register for school alone. As my personal cowboy for the day, he will surely let me ride his horse. I start to climb into his too tall truck, but his 2 fingers walk in the air. This means I'm to walk to school. Turn right where flowers big as dinner plates grow strangely blue. Turn left where purple fluffy wands arch on tall bushes inviting butterflies. Sweat beads plump up on my cowboy's upper lip. My armpits embarrass me. I must remember to not raise the reins high. We walk and walk on a road where the horizon keeps extending. Finally, we stop at a fat red brick building. Paperwork with a woman who pats my head while shaking her own. I step back, hating pity, having learned from mother that the pity giver feels better, never the pity receiver. On the walk home, I take a deep breath, forcing myself to say, "You, horses." He. I go. My personal cowboy shakes his head. I repeat myself and gallop. He scrunches his face. I say, "Horses," and he, until my throat hurts. We get home. Brother Kwong has to translate, after all. No, Mr. Johnston doesn't have a horse, nor has he ever ridden one. What kind of a cowboy is he? To make it worse, the cowboy explains horses here go neigh, not he. No, they don't. Where am I? August 29th. 4th rule. Some verbs switch all over just because. I am, she is, they are, he was, they were would be simpler if English and life were logical. August 30, the outside. Starting tomorrow, everyone must leave the house. Mother starts sewing at a factory. Brother Kwong begins repairing cars. The rest of us must go to school, repeating the last grade, left unfinished. Brother Vu wants to be a cook or teach martial arts, not waste a year as the oldest senior. Mother says one word, college. Brother Koi gets an old bicycle to ride, but mother says I'm too young. For one, even though I'm a 10-year-old in the 4th grade, when everyone else is 9. Mother says, worry instead about getting sleep because from now on no more naps. You will eat lunch at school with friends. What friends? You'll make some. What if I can't? You will. What will I eat? What your friends eat. But what will I eat? Be surprised. I hate surprises. Be agreeable. Not without knowing what I'm agreeing to. Mother sighs, walking away, September 1. Sadder laugh. School. I wake up with dragonflies zipping through my gut. I eat nothing. I take each step towards school evenly, trying to hold my stomach steady. It helps that the morning air glides cool like a constant washcloth against my face. Deep breaths. I'm the first student in class. My new teacher has brown curls looped tight to her scalp like circles in a beehive. She points to her chest. Mrs. Scott, saying it 3 times, each louder with ever more spit. I repeat, Mrs. Scott, careful to hiss every S. She doesn't seem impressed. I tap my own chest. Ha. She must have heard ha, as in funny ha. She fakes a laugh. I repeat, ha, and wish I knew enough English to tell her to listen for the diacritical mark, this one directing the tone downward. My new teacher tilts her head back, fakes an even sadder laugh. September 2nd morning, rainbow. I face the class. Mrs. Scott speaks. Each classmate says something. I don't understand, but I see. Fire hair on skin dotted with spots. Fuzzy dark hair on skin shiny as lacquer. Hair the color of root on milky skin. Lots of braids on milk chocolate. White hair on a pink boy. Honey hair with orange ribbons on see-through skin. Hair with barrettes in all colors on bronze bread. I'm the only straight black hair on olive skin. September 2nd mid-morning. Black and white and yellow and red. The bell rings, everyone stands. I stand, they line up, so do I. Down a hall, turn left, take a tray. Receive food, sit, on one side of the bright, noisy room, light skin. Other side, dark skin, both laughing, chewing, as if it never occurred to them someone medium would show up. I don't know where to sit any more than I know how to eat the pink sausage. Snuggled inside bread shaped like a corn cob, smeared with sauces yellow and red. I think they are making fun of the Vietnamese flag until I remember no one here likely knows that flag's colors. I put down the tray and wait in the hallway. September 2nd, 11:30 am, loud outside. Another bell, another line, this time outside. Every part of the rainbow surrounds me, shouting, pushing. A pink boy with white hair on his head and white eyebrows and white eyelashes pulls my arm hair. Laughter. It's true my arm hair grows so long and black. Maybe he is curious about my long, black arm hair like I was curious about the golden fuzz on the arm of the rescue ship sailor. He pokes my cheek, howls from everyone. He pokes my chest. I see nothing but squeezed eyes, twisted mouths. No, they're not curious. I want to pluck out every white hair to see if the boy's scalp matches the pink of his face. I wish this but walk away, September to afternoon. Laugh back. The pink boy and two loud friends follow me home. I count each step to walk faster. I won't let them see me run. I count in English, forcing it to the front of my mind. I can't help but glance back. The pink boy shouts, showing a black hole where sharp teeth glow. I walk faster, count faster in English. Not that I care to understand what pink boy says, but I have to if I'm to laugh back at him one day. September 2nd after school. Quiet inside. Brother Coy is home, not talking. We sit together shelling peanuts. I keep my day inside. Mother comes home with 2 fingers wrapped in white. The electric machine sews so fast. Brother Kwong comes home, throws down his uniform shirt, goes to the bathroom. At dinner, his fingernails are still rimmed in black oil. Brother Vu comes in whistling. He eats 2, 3, 4 pork chops. I eat 1, 2 chops. I have a feeling having muscles makes whistling possible. September 2nd evening, fly kick. I sneak into my brother's room. The full moon shines on the bulkiest lump. I shake it awake. Outside, Brother Vu swats my hand but follows me. Moonlight turns us silver. They pulled my arm hair. They threw rocks at me. They promised to stomp on my chest. Brother Vu yawns. A boy did pull my arm hair. Brother Vu pats my head. Ignore him. It's not like I follow him around. Why were you whistling? Someone called me Ching Chong. Is that good? Didn't sound good. Then he tripped me, so I flew up and almost scissor kicked him in the face. You missed? I wanted him to stop, not hurt him. I didn't even like seeing him scared. I would have kicked him. Teach me to fly kick, please. Not with your temper. I shout. I'm so mad. I shouldn't have to run away. Tears come. Brother Vu has always been afraid of my tears. I'll teach you defense. How will that help me? He smiles huge, so certain of himself. You'll see. September to late, chin nod. Next morning, halfway down the block, away from Mother's eyes, I hear the clink-clank of Brother Coy's bicycle. He stops and pats the upper bar of the triangle frame. I sit side saddle, holding onto the handlebar. The edges of our hands touch. As we glide away, I ask, every day? I feel his chin nod into the top of my head. After school too? Another chin nod. We glide and I feel as if I'm floating. September 3, feel dumb. Mrs. Scott points to me, then to the letters of the English alphabet. I say ABC and so on. She tells the class to clap. I frown. Mrs. Scott points to the numbers along the wall. I count up to 20. The class claps on its own. I'm furious, unable to explain I already learned fractions and how to purify river water. So this is what dumb feels like. I hate it. September 10, wishes. I wish Brother Coy wouldn't keep inside how he endures the hours in school. That mother wouldn't hide her bleeding fingers, that Brother Kwong wouldn't be so angry after work. I wish our cowboy could be persuaded to buy a horse, that I could be invisible until I can talk back, that English could be learned without so many rules. I wish Father would appear in my class speaking beautiful English as he does French and Chinese and hold out his hand for mine. Mostly I wish I were still smart. September 11. Hiding. Brother Vu now makes everyone call him Vu Li, a name I must say without giggling to get defense lessons. I need the lessons. I'm hiding in class by staring at my shoes. I'm hiding during lunch in the bathroom, eating hard rolls saved from dinner. I'm hiding during outside time in the same bathroom. I'm hiding after school until Brother Coy rides up to our secret corner. With Vu Li, I squat and dung tan, weight on legs, back straight, arms at my sides, fingers relaxed, eyes everywhere at once. I'm practicing to be seen. September 13. Neighbors. Eggs explode like smears of snot on our front door. Just dumb kids, says our cowboy. Bathroom paper hangs like ghosts from our willow. More dumb kids, says our cowboy. A brick shatters the front window, landing on our dinner table along with a note. Brother Kwong refuses to translate. Mother shakes her head when Vu Li pops his muscles. Our cowboy calls the police, who tell us to stay inside. Hogwash, our cowboy says, then spits a brown blob of tobacco. I repeat, hogwash, puckering for the ending of sh. Mother decides we must meet our neighbors. Our cowboy leads, giving us each a cowboy hat to be tilted while saying, "Good mornin'." Only I wear the hat. In the house to our right, a bald man closes his door. Next to him, a woman with yellow hair slams hers. Next to her, shouts reach us behind a door unopened. Redness crawls across my brothers' faces. Mother pats their backs. Our cowboy leads us to the house on our left. An older woman throws up her arms and hugs us. We're so startled we stand like trees. She points to her chest. Mrs. Washington. She hugs our cowboy and kisses him. I thought only husbands and wives do that when alone. We find out Mrs. Washington is a widow and retired teacher. She has no children but has a dog named Lassie and a garden that takes up her backyard. She volunteers to tutor us all. My time with her will be right after school. I'm afraid to tell her how much help I'll need. September 14, new word A. Day. Mrs. Washington has her own rules. She makes me memorize one new word a day and practice it 10 times in conversation. For every new word that sticks to my brain, she gives me fruit in bite sizes, drowning in sweet, white fluff. Cookies with drops of chocolate small as rain. Flat, round, pan-fried cakes floating in syrup. My vocabulary grows. She makes me learn rules I've never noticed. Like a, an, and the, which act as little megaphones to tell the world whose English is still secondhand. The house is red, but we live in a house. A, an, and the do not exist in Vietnamese, and we understand each other just fine. I pout, but Mrs. Washington says every language has annoyances and illogical rules, as well as sensible beauty. She has an answer for everything, just like Mother. September 16th. More is not better. I now understand when they make fun of my name, yelling ha 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 down the hall when they ask if I eat dog meat. barking and chewing and falling down laughing when they wonder if I lived in the jungle with tigers, growling and stalking on all fours. I understand because Brother Coy nodded into my head on the bike ride home when I asked if kids said the same things at his school. I understand and wish I could go back to not understanding. September 19, Ha'Eli Our cowboy says our neighbors would be more like neighbors if we agree to something at the Delray Southern Baptist Church. I've seen the church name on a sign where blaring yellow sun rays spell God. Our cowboy and his wife wait for us in the very first row. He's smiling, she's not. A plump man runs onto the stage shouting. Everyone except us greets him, Ha'Eli. The more he shouts, the more everyone sings Ha'Eli. Later, a woman smelling of honeysuckle signals for all of us to follow. Mother and I are told to change into shapeless white gowns. We line up in a hallway to Bright and to Bear, where my brothers await us frowning, all wearing the same shapeless white gowns. I giggle. Mother pinches me, then steps forward first. The plump man waits for her in a tiny pool. One hand holds her nose, another hand on her back, pushing her under. I start to jump into the pool, but Mother is standing again, coughing, hair matted to her face, eyes narrowing at me. Each of my brothers gets dipped. My turn comes, no matter how I laser eye Mother to stop it. And yet it's not over. We must get dressed and line up on stage next to the plump man, our cowboy, and his smiling wife. Her lips curl up even more as people line up to kiss our cheeks. Drops from wet hair drip down my back. Bumps enlarge on my chilled skin as I realize we will be coming back every Sunday. September 21, can't help. Mother taps her nails on the dining table, her signal for solitude to chant. I shuffle off to our room, but am still with her through my ears. She chants, Nam Mo Adida Fat Nam Mo Kwan the Mbo Tat, such quiet tones after a day of shouts and Ha'Eli Ludas. Clang, 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 a spoon chimes against a glass bowl. Nothing like clear stream bell echoes from a brass gong. Instead of jasmine incense, Mother burns dried orange peels. As she bitter citrus invades our room. Nothing like the floral wafts that once calmed me. I try but can't fall asleep, needing amethyst ring twirls and her lavender scent. I'm not as good as Mother at making do. Finally, she comes in and turns from me, her signal for more time alone. I lie frozen, sniffing for traces of lavender. Too faint, yet I dare not roll closer. She sighs, extends it into a sniffle. Where are you? Should we keep hoping? She thinks I am asleep. More sniffles, so gentle I would miss them by inhaling too deeply. Come home and see how our children have grown. All my life I've wondered what it's like to know someone for forever, then poof, he's gone. Another sigh. It's more difficult here than I imagined. I thought so. Despite her own rule, Mother can't help yearning for father any more than I can help tasting ripe papaya in my sleep. September 21st late, spelling rules. Sometimes the spelling changes when adding an S. Knife becomes knives. Sometimes a C is used instead of a K, even if it makes more sense for cat to be spelled cat. Sometimes a Y is used instead of an E, even if it makes more sense for moldy to be spelled mold. Whoever invented English should have learned to spell. September 30, Cowboy's Gifts. Our cowboy likes to bring us gifts. The breathing catfish was Mother's favorite. I couldn't watch Vuli kill and clean it, but it tasted so good. After getting us dipped at church, our cowboy brought gifts even more often. Vuli always asks for beef jerky, pointing to his muscles. I prefer really fat grapes. Today our cowboy brings chips and chocolate. My brothers and I finish the chips in a flash. Later Mother throws away what's left of the candy. After she falls asleep, I retrieve the bars. They'll be better than hard rolls for lunch. October 4, someone knows. My word for today is delicious, delicious. Mrs. Washington asks, Was your lunch delicious? Before speaking, I have to translate in my head. She waits. I eat candy in toilet. Mrs. Washington looks panicked. WHAT? I realize my mistake. Oh, the toilet. She doesn't look any happier. I add, not candy all time. But you always eat in the bathroom? I nod. Why? How can I explain dragonflies do somersaults in my stomach? Whenever I think of the noisy room full of mouths chewing and laughing. I'm still translating when her eyes get red. I'll pack you a lunch and you can eat at your desk. No eat in class. I'll fix that. Things will get better, just you wait. I don't believe her, but it feels good that someone knows. October 13, most relieved day. At lunch the next day I stay in class. Mrs. Scott nods. Can it be this easy? Inside my first brown paper bag, a white meat sandwich, an apple. Crunchy curly things sprinkled with salt, and a cookie dotted with chocolate raindrops. Something salty, something sweet, perfect. I hear pounding footsteps in the long hall. I stop chewing. 2 students run into class, giggling. I firm my muscles, ready for the giggles to explode into laughter thrown at me. But smiles appear instead. The girl has red hair swaying to her bottom, a skirt falling to her calves. She says, Pam. I hear Pam. The boy of coconut shell skin is dressed better than for church, a purple bow tie. A white shirt that wouldn't wrinkle even if he rolled down a hill. His shaved head is so shiny and perfect I want to touch it. He speaks slowly and loudly, but I don't mind because he's still smiling. He says, Stephen. I hear CTI van. I have not seen them in class. But then, I mostly stare at my shoes. I will write in my journal October 14th is most relieved day. As I have noted, April 30th was Saigon is gone day and September 2nd was longest day ever. Though I was saving most relieved day for father's return, he can have the title, my life's best day. October 14th. Smart again. Pink boy stands at the board. He can't multiply 18 by 42. I go to the board, chalk the answer in 5 moves. My cheekbones lift to the ceiling until I see horror on the faces of Pem and CTI Van. Pink boy is glowing red against white hair, white eyebrows, and white eyelashes. Mrs. Scott nudges me toward my seat. Pem reaches for my hand, hers trembling. I know pink boy will get me, but right now I feel smart. October 20, hair. One day the honey hair girl takes her pink ribbons and knots pigtails in my hair. She stares, shakes her head, yanks back her ribbons. Pink don't look good on you. Then 3 girls of bronze bread skin remove colorful barrettes from their hair and twist onto my head so many braids. The girl's hair holds the shape of braids even without barrettes. Pam and CTI Van nod, so I keep still. Walking home, my shadow shows eels dancing on my head with tails in shapes of bows, stars, hearts. Mother and brothers notice, pause, then go on with their day. It isn't easy to sleep on a pile of plastic barrettes. The next morning when the girls slip off the barrettes, my hair falls back to being straight. The girls yank my flat strands, walk away. I've spent my life wishing for long hair and this is what I get. October 23, the busy one. Vuli no longer has time for just me. At sunrise he throws newspapers onto porches. After school he flips perfect circles of beef. At sunset he teaches Bruce Lee moves in our front yard. We line up in 5 rows, squatting and shifting, the only moves he has taught us. I make sure to get in the front row. First came the eager boys. Next came the giggly girls. Then came our neighbors who couldn't help their curiosity. They wave back now, at times bringing jiggly, colorful food we don't eat. Everyone in Vu Lee's class wears yellow. Some even bought suits exactly like Bruce Lee's. Brothers Kwong and Koi joined too. Once I saw mother behind the curtains, smiling. I squatted low and sturdy then, October 28. War and Peace. Mrs. Scott shows the class photographs of a burned, naked girl running, crying down a dirt road of people climbing, screaming, desperate to get on the last helicopter out of Saigon of skeletal refugees, crammed aboard a sinking fishing boat, reaching up to the heavens for help of mounds of combat boots abandoned by soldiers of the losing side. She's telling the class where I'm from. She should have shown something about papayas and tet. No one would believe me, but at times I would choose wartime in Saigon over peacetime in Alabama. October 29. Pancake Face. Pam is dressed in a skirt to the floor like the pioneers in our textbook. C.T.I. Van wears a beard like President Lincoln. I didn't know today is pretend day. Pink Boy keeps asking, "What are you?" By the end of school he yells an answer. She should be a pancake. She has a pancake face. It doesn't make sense until it does. I run, hearing laughter loud, 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 which still echoes when Mother comes home. I can't keep the day inside anymore. Mother asks, "What's a pancake?" Tears gush because I can't make myself explain. A pancake is very, very flat. October 31st, Halloween. Mother's response. Mother strokes my head. Chant, "My child, breathe in, peaceful mind. Breathe out, peaceful smile." She strokes my back. Chant, "My daughter, your whispers will bloom and shelter you from words you need not hear." Chant, "Nam mo a di da fat, nam mo quan the embo tat." She strokes my arm. I chant, wanting the gentle strokes to continue forever. I chant, wanting Mother's calmness to sink into me. October 31st night. Mrs. Washington's response. I'm quiet during my lesson with Mrs. Washington. For a long time I stare at the floral wallpaper and shelves full of books, then I notice a framed photograph of a boy in uniform. I had not known of her son Tom or of his death as a 20-year-old soldier in the very place where I was born. I never thought the name of my country could sound so sad. I'm afraid to look at Mrs. Washington. You hate me, child, child. She comes close and hugs me. Right then I tell her about the pancake. She hugs me tighter, then pulls out a book. A book of photographs. A dragon dance at Tet, schoolgirls in white Odis, a temple built on a tree trunk. Tom had sent home these photographs of a hot, green country that he loved and hated just the same. I second breath, a photograph of a papaya tree swaying broad, fan-like leaves in the full sun, showing off a bundle of fat orange piglets. Excited, I yell, "Do-do!" I'm stabbing at the image. Best food, papaya? Your favorite food is papaya? By the time I teach her do-do and she teaches me do-do, we're laughing so hard we're hungry for pancakes. She tells me to take the book home. November 3. Cowboy's response. Before school, our cowboy shows up. Mrs. Washington told him about the pancake. He whispers to Mother and Brother Kwong. All will escort me to school with Mrs. Washington. I do not feel good. In the principal's office sit Pink Boy and his mother. It's very hot in here, lots of strained voices holding in anger. Finally, all eyes are on Pink Boy, who wrestles out, "Sorry. I feel like throwing up." Mother rescues him. "We know you're from a proper family and did not realize the damage of your insult." While Brother Kwong translates, Pink Boy's eyes let me know he hates me even more. November 5th. Buddha, Buddha. Mrs. Scott shows photographs of the S-shape of Vietnam, of green mountains and long beaches, of a statue of the Buddha reclining. She asks me, "Would you like to say anything?" I know Buddha. I hear laughter and a murmur building. Buddha, Buddha. Mrs. Scott hushes them. All day I hear whispers. Buddha, Buddha. I watch the clock, listen for the final bell, and dash. Pink Boy and friends follow, releasing shouts of Buddha, Buddha as I put one leg in front of the other faster, faster. But not fast enough to not hear them scream Buddha, Buddha. I turned down the wrong street, away from the corner where Brother Koi would be. I have no choice but to run. I turn right where purple flowers curve like baby moons over butterfly bushes. Footsteps pound right behind me. Turn left where flowers grow blue. I wish I could control it, but the plates of flowers are now blue smears from my near tears. Buddha, Buddha breathes into the back of my neck. Faster, faster. My legs try, but the shouts are upon me. Someone pulls my hair, forcing me to turn and see a black hole in a pink face. Buddha, Buddha girl. My palms cover my eyes. I run, all the while surging from my gut. Fire, soreness, weight, anger, loneliness, confusion, embarrassment, shame. November 7, hate it. I don't make it inside the house, but sit under the willow tree, dig a hole and into it scream, 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 I hate everyone. A lion's paw rips up my throat, still I scream, I hate everyone. Hands grip my shoulders. Mrs. Washington is on her knees. Child, child, come with me. I hate everyone. She hoists me up by my armpits and drags me across the yard. You poor child, tell me, tell me. It hurts too much to keep screaming, but it feels good to thrash about like a captured lizard. Inside her house, Mrs. Washington throws her body on mine. Hush, 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 hush. She says it over and over like a chant, slowly. Slowly, the screams that never stopped inside my head cool to a real whisper. I hate everyone, even your mama? She crosses her eyes, puckers her lips. I stop myself from laughing. She pats my hand. That one gesture dissolves the last of my hate spell. November 7th after school, Brother Kwong's turn. Brother Kwong comes home with happy shouts. He did it, repairing a car no one else could. From now on, he's to work only on engines. Mother smiles so hard she cries. I pout. When is it going to be my turn? November 12, confessions. It's time to tell Mother why misery keeps pouncing on me. I used to buy less pork so I could buy fried dough. I know. You do? What else? I used to like making the girl who shared my desk cry. She tilts her head. I know, Mother. I know. Very bad. She nods. Now they make me cry. Will I be punished forever? Forever is quite long. There's more. It's really bad. She lifts an eyebrow. At dawn on Tet, I tapped my big toe to the tile floor first. She widens her eyes. I hate being told I can't do something because I'm a girl. She doesn't scold me, just nods. Did I ruin the luck of the whole family? Is that why we're here, my child, how you shoulder the world? I was superstitious, that's all. If anything, you gave us luck because we got out and we're here. Lucky to be here. Just wait, you'll see. I don't want to wait. It's awful now. Is it really so unbearable? They chase me. They yell Buddha, Buddha at me. They pull my arm hair. They call me pancake face. They clap at me in class. And you want me to wait? Can I hit them? Oh, my daughter, at times you have to fight, but preferably not with your fists. November 14th. Now, Brother Kwong takes us to the grocery store. Mother buys everything to make egg rolls for a coming holiday when Americans eat a turkey the size of a baby. She has me ask the butcher, please grind our pork. I'm sure I said it right, but the butcher sharpens his face, slams down our meat, and motions us away. Mother wrinkles her brows, thinking, pausing, then rings the buzzer again. Please, she says. It comes out, peas. The butcher turns away without a word. Mother presses the buzzer for a long time. When the butcher returns, he hears a lot of Vietnamese in a voice stern and steady, from eyes even more so. Mother ends with a clear now. The butcher stares, then takes our meat to the grinder. November 22nd. Do face. Again they're yelling, Buddha, Buddha, but I know to run toward Brother Koi 2 corners away. Enough time for them to repeat hundreds of Buddhas. Enough time for me to turn and yell, Jesus, Jesus. I love how they stop, mouths open. My heart lifting, I run and shout, bully. Coward, pink snot face, words I learned from them on the playground. I turn to see Pink Boy coming close to me. No longer pink, he's red, blood orange red like a ripe papaya. Do face. It's not my fault if his friends hear do face and are laughing right at him. Brother Koi is waiting. I jump on, December 4. Rumor. Friday CTI van heard it from Pem who heard it from the honey hair girl who heard it. From the dot on face girl who heard it from the white hair boy who heard it from all three girls in braids. That Pink Boy has gotten his 6th grade cousin, a girl to heads taller than the tallest of us, with arm muscles that run up and down like mice, to agree to beat me up when we come back Monday. December 5, a plan. I don't have to tell Brother Koi, who heard in the halls of his school that my face is to be flattened flatter tomorrow. You don't have a flat face, he says. Besides, I have a plan, December 7, run. 5 minutes till the last bell. I lean toward the door, legs bouncing, books left on the floor. Hurrying I run, Pem and CTI van close behind. Outside, Pem and I exchange coats with hoods. Pem heads down my usual path. I zip to the left, CTI van stays to block the door. Running so fast, I fly above the sidewalk. Alone, they must all be with Pem. I stop at the new corner where Brother Koi said to wait. Where is he? Footsteps explode from the street that smacks into mine. Pink Boy, December 8, 3:36 p.m., a shift. Pink Boy plows toward me. I squat and dungtan, facing him. His right arm extends in a fist. When he's close enough for me to see the white arm hair, I shift my upper body. To the left, legs sturdy, eyes on the blur that flies past me. A thud, Pink Boy writhes on the pavement. I thought I would love seeing him in pain. But he looks more defeated than weak, more helpless than scared, like a caged puppy. He's getting up. If I were to kick him, it must be now. December 8, 3:38 p.m. Wow, a roar. Pink Boy and I turn. A gigantic motorcycle. The rider in all black stops. The helmet comes off. Vu Li. Wow. Pink Boy disappears. Brother Koi runs up, out of breath, pushing a bicycle with a flat. Vu Li flicks his head. I climb on first, wrap my arms around a waist tight as rope. Brother Koi climbs on next, one hand holding the handlebar of his bike. We fly home, December 8, 3:43 p.m. The Vu Li effect. Vu Li now picks me up after school. So someone is always saving lunch seats for me, Pem, and CTI van. Someone is always inviting us to a party. Someone is always hoping Vu Li will offer her a ride, as he did the huge cousin, who now not only smiles but waves at us. Pink Boy avoids us, and we're glad, December 16. Early Christmas. Mother invites our cowboy and Mrs. Washington for egg rolls. They brought gifts, not saying early Christmas, not wanting to embarrass us for not having anything to exchange. From our cowboy to mother, 2 just caught catfish to Brother Kwong, tuition for night college to Vu Li, jerky in 10 flavors to Brother Koi, 2 fighting fish in separate jars to me, a new coat. We laugh and say, perfect. From Mrs. Washington to mother, a gong and jasmine incense to Brother Kwong, an engineering textbook to Vu Li, jerky in 10 flavors to Brother Koi, a hamster to me, 3 packages of something orange and dried. My family claps and says, perfect. I frown, December 20, not the same. 3 pouches of dried papaya, chewy, sugary, waxy, sticky, not the same at all. So mad, I throw all in the trash. December 20th night, but not bad. Mother slaps my hand. Learn to compromise. I refuse to retrieve the pouches, pout, go to bed, stare at the photograph of a real papaya tree. Wonder if I'll ever taste sweet, tender orange flesh again. Gooningig rings out. How soothing a real gong sounds. Swirls of incense reach me, hovering like a blanket, tugging me in. I wake up at faint light, guilt heavy on my chest. I head toward the trash can. Yet on the dining table on a plate sit strips of papaya gooey and damp, having been soaked in hot water. The sugar has melted off, leaving plump, moist, chewy bites. Not the same, but not bad at all. December 20th, 21. Part 4. From Now On. Letter from the North. 8 months ago, war ended. 4 months ago, Mother sent our letter. Today, Father's brother answers. Still, we know nothing more. Our uncle even went south to talk with our old neighbors, to find Father's old friends. He consulted, left word, waited until it became obvious he would know nothing more. His letter doesn't tell us what to do from now on. We look to Mother. She doesn't tell us either. Ours is a silent Christmas Eve, December 24. Gift Exchange Day. Pem comes over on Gift Exchange Day with a doll to replace the mouse-bitten one I told her about. I almost scream because the doll with long black hair is so beautiful. But I whisper, "Thank you." My high emotions are squished beneath the embarrassment of not having a gift for her. December 25. What if? Brother Kwang asks what if Father escaped to Cambodia and is building an army to go back and change history. Vu Li asks what if Father escaped to France but can't remember his own history, so he builds a new family and is happy. Brother Koi asks what if Father escaped to Tibet after shaving his head and joining a monastery. I can't think of anything but can't let my brothers best me, so I blurt out, what if Father is really gone? From the sad look on their faces, I know despite their brave guesses, they have begun to accept what I said on a whim. December 29. A sign. Mother says nothing about Father, but she chants every night, long chants where her voice wavers between hope and acceptance. She's waiting for a sign. I'll decide what she decides. December 30. No more. First day back after Christmas break. I know I'm supposed to wear everything new. I don't have anything new except for the coat and a hand-me-down dress still wrapped in plastic. It's beige with blue flowers made from a fabric fuzzy and thick, perfect for this cold day. Best of all, it's past my knees, perfect for a cold bike ride. Pem is wearing a new skirt falling to her calves, as always. CTI Van's new white shirt looks stiff as a wall. As soon as I remove my coat, everyone stops talking. A girl in red velvet comes over to me. Don't ya know flannel is for nightgowns and sheets? I panic. Pem shrugs. I can't wear pants or cut my hair or wear skirts above my calves. What do I care what you wear? CTI Van says, it looks like a dress to me. The red velvet girl points to the middle of my chest. See this flower? They only put that on nightgowns. I look down at the tiny blue flower barely stitched on. I rip it off. Nightgown no more. January 5. Seeds. I wear the same dress to sleep, telling Mother why. I pretended not to care, then no one cared, so I really didn't care. Mother laughs. I tell her a much worse embarrassment is not having a gift for Pem. Mother nods, thinks, goes to her top drawer. I was saving this for you for Tet, but why wait? In her palm lies the tin of flower seeds I had gathered with tie-tie. Perfect for Pem. Mother always thinks of everything. January 5th night, gone. Mother runs in after work, hands clenched into white balls, words chopped into grunts, face of ash. We stare at her left hand. The amethyst stone is gone. Brother Kwang drives us back to the sewing factory in his car made of mismatched parts. We search where Mother sat, then retrace her steps to the cafeteria, to the bathroom, to the parking lot. We repeat so often we lose count, propelled by Mother's wild eyes and pressed mouth. Frightened of what her expression would be if at dusk, the guards shoo us out. We're afraid to look at mother. January 14. Truly gone. When home, mother retreats to our room. Mrs. Dinner remains soundless. At bedtime we hear the gong, then chanting. The chant is long, the voice low and sure. Finally she appears, looks at each of us. Your father is truly gone. January 14 late. Eternal peace. Mother wears her brown dye brought from home. Each of my brothers wears a suit, too small or too big. I wear a pink dress of ruffles and lace, which I hate, but at least it's definitely a dress. Each of us faces the altar, holding a lit incense stick between palms in prayer. Father's portrait stares back. This is as old as we'll ever know him. That thought turns my eyes red. Mother says, we'll chant for father's safe passage toward eternal peace, where his parents await him. She pauses, voice choked. Father won't leave if we hold on to him. If you feel like crying, think at least now we know. At least we no longer live in waiting. January 17, start over. I'm trying to tell Mrs. Washington about our ceremony for father. But it takes time to match every noun and verb, sort all the tenses, remember all the articles, set the tone for every S. Mrs. Washington says if every learner waits to speak perfectly, no one would learn a new language. Being stubborn won't make you fluent. Practicing will. The more mistakes you make, the more you'll learn not to. They laugh. Shame on them. Challenge them to say something in Vietnamese and laugh right back. I tell her father is at peace. I tell her I'd like to plant flowers from Vietnam in her backyard. I tell her Ted is coming and luck starts over every new year. January 19th. An engineer, a chef, a vet, and not a lawyer. Brother Quang has started night school to study engineering to become what he was meant to be. Mother smiles. Fu Li refuses to apply to a real college, instead will go to a cooking school in San Francisco, where his idol once walked. Mother sighs, twists her brows to no effect. Brother Koi announces he will become a doctor of animals. Mother starts to say something, then nods. Mother has always wanted an engineer, a real doctor, a poet, and a lawyer. She turns to me. You love to argue, right? No, I don't. She brightens. I vow to become much more agreeable. January 29, 1976, Year of the Dragon. This Tet there's no I Ching teller of fate, so mother predicts our year. Our lives will twist and twist, intermingling the old and the new until it doesn't matter which is which. This Tet there's no ban chung in the shape of a square, made of pork, glutinous rice, and mung beans, wrapped in banana leaves. Mother makes her own in the shape of a log, made of pork, regular rice, and black beans wrapped in cloth. Not the same, but not bad. As with every Tet, we are expected to smile until it hurts all 3 first days of the year. We're all new clothes, especially underneath, not sweep, not splash water, not talk back, not pout. Mother thinks of everything. She even asked Brother Quang to bless the house right after midnight. So I couldn't beat him to it by touching my big toe to the carpet before dawn. Mother has set up an altar on the highest bookshelf. The same, forever young portrait of father. I have to look away. We each hold an incense stick and wait for the gong. I pray for father to find warmth in his new home, mother to keep smiling more, Brother Quang to enjoy his studies, Fu Li to drive me from and to school, Brother Koi to hatch an American chick. I open my eyes. The others are still praying. What could they be asking for? I think and think, then close my eyes again. This year I hope I truly learn to fly kick, not to kick anyone so much as to fly. January 31st Tet, author's note. Dear reader, much of what happened to Ha, the main character in Inside Out and Back Again, also happened to me. At age 10, I too witnessed the end of the Vietnam War and fled to Alabama with my family. I too had a father who was missing in action. I also had to learn English and even had my arm hair pulled the first day of school. The fourth graders wanted to make sure I was real, not an image they had seen on TV. So many details in this story were inspired by my own memories. Aside from remembering facts, I worked hard to capture Ha's emotional life. What was it like to live where bombs exploded every night yet where sweet snacks popped up at every corner? What was it like to sit on a ship heading toward hope? What was it like to go from knowing you're smart to feeling dumb all the time? The emotional aspect is important because of something I noticed in my nieces and nephews. They may know in general where their parents came from, but they can't really imagine the noises and smells of Vietnam, the daily challenges of starting over in a strange land. I extend this idea to all. How much do we know about those around us? I hope you enjoy reading about Ha as much as I have enjoyed remembering the pivotal year in my life. I also hope after you finish this book that you sit close to someone you love and implore that person to tell their story.